I am Professor Augustine A Thomas. I am giving this talk for Saphalam 55 plus Pala. Saphalam 55 plus Pala is a premier socio-cultural organization spearheading and promoting all positive human activities. This presentation about Othello, the Moor of Venice, is the second of a series of 4 talks on Shakespearean tragedy. The first one, given last week, was on King Lear. The general title is Shakespeare's 4 Great Tragedies and their impact on man's life today. Next week it will be on Hamlet, and week after next on Macbeth. Let us come to Othello. Tragic art seems to reach its highest end in Shakespeare's Othello. This drama, probably written in 1604, is regarded as the tragic masterpiece of William Shakespeare. In many respects, it is different from King Lear or Hamlet or Macbeth. It is the crushing painfulness and pathos of Othello as a drama which make it distinct from others. There has been going on a big debate among critics whether Othello is a drama of intrigue or a drama of character. Surely it is the intrigue or conspiracy of the arch-villain Iago which brings about Othello's downfall. With Shakespeare, the language and the poetic diction are points of great attraction. Soliloquies and asides are used by this master craftsman to illuminate the reader about what is going on in the minds of the characters. Dramatic irony is also a highlight of these plays. All these are scenes skillfully employed in Othello. At the outset itself, let us listen to a soliloquy by Othello as a test dose. In Act 5, Scene 2, there is the bedchamber scene in the castle. Desdemona is seen in bed asleep. This is the scene in which the doubting Othello, who had become tiger-like, strangles the guiltless Desdemona to death. Othello enters in the night with a torch. Here is the world-famous soliloquy spoken by him. It is the cause, my soul. Let me not name it to you, you chaste stars. It is the cause, yet I will not shed her blood, nor scar that whiter skin of hers than snow. and smooth as monumental alabaster. Yet she must die, else she will betray more men. Put out the light, and then put out the light. If I quench thee, thou flaming minister, I can again thy former light restore. Should I repent me? But once put out thine, thou cunning pattern of excelling nature, I know not where is that Promethean heat that can thy light relume. When I have plucked the rose, I cannot give it vital growth again. It must needs wither. I will smell it on the tree, kisses her, a balmy breath that doth almost persuade justice herself to break her sword. Once more, be thus, when thou art dead, and I will kill thee, and love thee after, and this, the last, so sweet, was never so fatal. I must weep, but they are cruel tears. This sorrow is heavenly. It strikes when it does love. She wakes. Of all Shakespeare's tragedies, Othello is regarded as the most painful one. It is because of the horrific act of the murder of Desdemona, whose character was in fact whiter than snow and smoother than monumental alabaster. All because of her husband's over-trustful nature. If Macbeth had fallen, he knew he had gone into excesses in brutally murdering his own king, who was the epitome of piety. Hamlet fell, and he was sure that at the most opportune moment he would miss the target because of his own character of indecision. King Lear recognized, though belatedly, that his own misjudgment and hasty temperament brought about his disaster. However, Othello is different in that he was so direct and so honest that he never knew of the fatal defect in him, or what is called in literary terms as hamartia, which was the cause of his decline and fall. Generally, a Shakespearean drama is in 5 acts. In Act 1, Scene 1, we see Iago and Roderigo talking about their dissatisfactions and also about Othello's elopement of Desdemona. Iago is Othello's ancient or flag bearer. Recently, he expected that Othello would promote him and appoint him as his lieutenant. Instead, Michael Cassio got that post. Now Iago is jealous of Cassio and revengeful towards Othello. Iago gives Roderigo a fond hope that If he continues to follow him in letter and spirit, he will arrange chances of getting Desdemona as his own. To Roderigo, Iago states his position about Othello thus: I follow him to serve my turn upon him. I follow but myself. I am not what I am. Yes, Iago is not what he is. He is not what he appears to be. Well versed in the art of scheming, he knows where to strike and when to strike. He asks Roderigo to shout outside Senator Brabantio's house, and when he rises up, announce that his daughter Desdemona has run away with Othello. Eventually, the case is brought before the Duke of Venice. The Duke is in council and he has given a new assignment to Othello. Cyprus was a province of Venice then, and the Ottoman Turks were about to annex Cyprus. Othello, as the general of the army, has to go urgently to Cyprus and counter the Turks. After this matter, Brabantio brought forth the issue of Desdemona being forcefully taken away by Othello. When questioned, Othello openly admits that he and Desdemona are already married. He explained the circumstances thus: her father loved me, oft invited me, still questioned me the story of my life. From year to year, the battles, sieges, fortunes that I have passed, I ran it through from my boyish days. I spake of most disastrous chances, of moving accidents by flood and field, of hairbreadth escapes in the imminent deadly beach, of being taken by the insolent foe and sold to slavery, and my redemption thence, and of the cannibals that each other eat, the anthropophagi, and men whose heads do grow beneath their shoulders. This to hear would Desdemona incline. My story being done, she gave me for my pains a world of sighs. She swore in faith, it was strange, it was passing strange. Upon this hint I spake. She loved me for the dangers I had passed, and I loved her that she did pity them. This only is the witchcraft I have used. Here comes the lady, let her witness it. Desdemona confirms her love towards Othello. The Duke is convinced and he lets her go with her husband. He pronounces his judgment thus: when remedies are past, the griefs are ended. To mourn a mischief that is past and gone, is the next way to draw more mischief on. Upon this, Desdemona added thus, I saw Othello's visage in his mind, and to his honors and his valiant parts did I my soul and fortunes consecrate. To make it final, the Duke informs Brabantio thus, your son-in-law is far more fair than black. At any rate, the fatherhood in Brabantio is not satisfied. He speaks to Othello thus, look to her, Moor. Have a quick eye to see. She has deceived her father. May do thee. In Act 2, Scene 1, we see the whole action shifted to Cyprus. They all are waiting for the arrival of Othello in full commission. Montano, who is Othello's predecessor in the government of Cyprus, asks Cassio whether the general is wived. To this Cassio replies thus, most fortunately, he hath achieved a maid that paragons description, one that does bear all excellency. Othello arrives there after winning a dazzling victory over the enemy. On the way, they all happily receive him. Seeing Desdemona there, he opens his heart thus, O my soul's joy, if after every tempest comes such calmness, may the winds blow till they have weakened death. If it were now to die, it were now to be most happy, for I fear my soul hath her content so absolute that not another comfort like to this succeeds in unknown fate. Act 2, Scene 3 is a conspiracy scene. Iago had informed Roderigo that Michael Cassio is also having an eye on Desdemona, and so he is a hindrance. Iago incites Roderigo to pick some quarrel with Cassio and tarnish his image publicly. Open celebrations are going on in Cyprus. As part of it, Iago manipulates Cassio to drink excessively. In such an intoxicated state, a fight happens between Cassio and Roderigo is wounded. An alarm is raised. Othello arrives on the spot. Othello dismisses Cassio from his lieutenantship. Cassio is full of shame. He exclaims thus, a reputation, I have lost my reputation. Cassio pins the whole blame on liquor. He says thus, O thou invisible spirit of wine, if thou hast no name to be known by, let us call thee devil. Cassio is now between the devil and the deep sea. To such a man's ears, Iago pours another strategy. He says thus, I will tell you what you shall do. Our general's wife is now the general. I may say so. Confess yourself freely to her. Importune her. She will help to put you in your place again. She is so free, so kind, so apt, so blessed a disposition that she holds it a voice in her goodness not to do more than she is requested. Iago's scheme is to pour pestilence into Othello's ear simultaneously and make him assured that Desdemona's lustfulness is so big that she is privately having an affair with Cassio. And Cassio puts the request to Desdemona, and she in turn pleads to Othello for his former lieutenant's reinstatement. By now, Othello has reached a bewildered state of mind. His love for Desdemona is much impassioned and overwhelming. This he speaks out thus, Excellent wretch, perdition catch my soul, but I do love thee, and when I love thee not, chaos is come again. Iago only gives some hints about Desdemona's disloyalty. He takes peculiar care to keep a suspense. This torments Othello a lot. He feels there is some monster in Iago's thought. Too hideous to be shown. The following soliloquy unfolds the agony of the tortured soul of Othello. So also, it is full of dramatic irony. As to Iago, he speaks thus, this fellow is of exceeding honesty and knows all qualities with a learned spirit of human dealing. It is the plague of great ones. Prerogative are they less than the base. It is destiny, unshunnable like death. Yes, the unshunnable, unavoidable destiny is also a big theme in this drama. The opposite also is an equally big theme here. In the meantime, the napkin which Desdemona was carrying drops down from her hands unknowingly. This was a special gift to her from the Moor. Iago's wife, Emilia, happened to get it, and Iago managed to get hold of it from her. By now, Iago is thrilled. He rests assured that his plot is going to win. About Othello, he speaks thus, the Moor already changes with my poison. Dangerous conceits are in their natures poisons, not poppy nor mandragora, nor all the drowsy syrups of the world shall ever medicine thee to that sweet sleep which thou owedest yesterday. These are lines which are compatible with the soliloquy by Macbeth about sleep, uttered in excruciating agony, beginning with sleep that knits of the ravelled sleeve of care, etc., etc. Iago secretly drops the same handkerchief in Cassio's room. Later on, Iago points out to Othello about his doubts as to how Desdemona's kerchief reached the hands of Cassio. This reinforces Othello's doubt about his wife's infidelity. He entrusts Iago to murder Cassio within 3 days. He refers to his wife as the fair devil. In Act 4, Scene 2, we see Emilia advising Othello to change his suspicious stand about Desdemona. Emilia vouches that Desdemona is honest and loving. However, Othello is not in a mood even to consider this. He picks an open quarrel with Desdemona. He calls her a whore, a public commoner, an impudent strumpet. He declares thus, "Would thou hadst never been born." Understanding the situation, Emilia consoles Desdemona thus, "I will be hanged if some eternal villain, some busy and insinuating rogue, some cogging, cozening slave to get some office, have not devised this slander. I will be hanged else." Act 5, Scene 2 is the most horrific one in the drama. With a firm resolve in the mind, Othello enters their bedchamber in the night. Desdemona is fast asleep. For Othello, he has so generalized his peculiar situation that what he is going to do is like a pious religious ritual done for the welfare of the whole humanity. The big soliloquy from Othello, standing in front of the sleeping Desdemona, had been given in the beginning of this lecture. He is going to put out the external light in the room first, and then he will knowingly put out the light of life in the body of Desdemona. As soon as he concludes his speaking aloud, Desdemona wakes up. Othello asks her if she had prayed that night, because he did not prefer to kill her unprepared spirit. Desdemona is totally perplexed. Othello questions her about the handkerchief. Also, he announces that Cassio's mouth is stopped. Honest Iago has done it. Then follows her heart-rending pleadings thus. Desdemona: "Oh, banish me, my lord, but kill me not." Othello: "Down, strumpet!" Desdemona, kill me tomorrow. Let me live tonight. Othello, nay, and you strive? Desdemona, but half an hour. But I will say one prayer. Othello, it is too late. He stifles her. Desdemona, oh Lord, Lord, Lord. Emilia, within, my Lord, what ho, my Lord. Othello again speaks thus, no more moving, still as the grave. Shall she come in? Were it good? I think she stirs again. No, what is the best? If she come in, she will sure speak to my wife. My wife. I have no wife. Oh, insupportable. Oh, heavy hour. Methinks it should be now a huge eclipse of sun and moon, and that the affrighted globe should yawn at alteration. Othello unlocks the door and Emilia enters. She understands that a foul attempt is made on her mistress. The half-dead Desdemona then speaks thus, a guiltless death I die. Emilia asks her who has done it. Then Desdemona replies thus, nobody, I myself. Farewell. Commend me to my kind lord. Oh, farewell. And she dies. Then Emilia asked Othello what had happened. He declared that it was he that killed her. To this Emilia responds thus, oh, the more angel she, and you the blacker devil. Finally, the mystery is unraveled. Emilia describes the circumstances under which the handkerchief reached Cassio. It was all the result of the conspiracy hatched by none but Iago. The heartbroken Othello falls on the same bed. He exclaims, oh, oh, oh. By this time, the villainous Iago is brought in there. Seeing him, Othello immediately runs towards him. Dodging from the attack, all of a sudden, Iago stabs Emilia. Emilia speaks her final farewell verse thus, I will play the swan and die in music, singing, willow, 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 Moor, she was chaste. She loved thee, cruel Moor. So come my soul to bliss, as I speak true. So speaking as I think, I die. And Emilia dies. Thereupon, the totally shattered and despondent Othello stabs himself. Then he utters his last verse thus, I kissed thee, or I killed thee. No way but this, killing myself to die upon a kiss. Othello falls on the bed and dies. The play ends with an announcement by Senator Lodovico that due punishment shall be meted out to the Spartan dog Iago. Thank you.